right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the program Marriage Keys. Apologies for the few minutes that we've spent trying to get ourselves settled in. How is your Sunday going? And a better question would be, how is your home? How are you doing with your spouse? Here is hoping that each and every home that is listening to us this evening does not just do it for the fun of it, but that you actually use some of these nuggets to work for you in your home. For those who are just listening to this program for the first time, this program is all about homes. We believe that the home is the foundation of the society, that unit that was ordained by God. And indeed, when there are issues, when there are challenges in that home, chances are the children who will grow up from such homes will not be the kind of children that will build up society for good. Society will suffer for it. And so therefore, it is not just about me and you as individuals, it's about all of us as a society. Good evening and welcome once again to the program Marriage Keys. I'm glad to say I have with me all my guests now in the studio, and I'm very happy to have them because we have situations that people sent in. I'd like to quickly talk about that before we move on. You do know that we were saying that the whole of February was for the singles, and I realize that February is a very short month. So what I really want us to do today, after we've talked about some of these situations, is to have the phone lines open as soon as we can for single people to call in and ask questions. And so we have just from now till about 25 minutes from now, and so we're 7 minutes in. And so we're just going to talk about some of those situations that were brought to my attention. Now, quickly, let me quickly tell you about the woman who talked about 10,000. The woman who sent in that message that she received 10,000 from the husband and that she's dying actually came to the office. Oh, by the way, we're live on Facebook, so you can please go on Facebook, check us out there, drop your comments, and we'll read them as we see them. This woman felt when she said she heard the way people were attacking, especially Reverend Adejo, on this matter of money. You know, when Reverend Adejo was saying, look, if you're earning 40,000, you want to get married. Personally, he would not marry you. Instead, he would want to counsel you. She said if she had gotten someone to talk to her about stuff like this, she said she would have appreciated, because indeed, her husband was earning about that. He's been promoted, works in one of our military or paramilitary, I'm not going to be specific now, I beg your pardon, works in one of those arms, and he's been promoted since. He said this was how they started. Okay, they started that way, and probably the man got used to giving her that kind of amount of money, and she was able to manage it, and he has not stepped up since then. However, her situation even goes beyond that. But she said she really needed for me to see her. She hustles a lot. She's doing so many things. In fact, when she came here, she said, look, if you have anything for me that I could do here at Invicta, clean this place, I could do anything really to add, to augment my salary so that I can look like a human being. She said, I would. Okay. Style. It simply doesn't work. Now, this lady said, unfortunately for her, she doesn't have a supportive mother. She's lost her father. The husband, they don't have children. Okay. They've been married for about 20 years. They don't have children, but the man has 5 children with 2 different women. And she says that these are the ones that she knows. She's not sure. She just might are there, you know, for the husband, children that the husband has sired somewhere else. But as is, the ones that she knows are 5. She said these women, even one of them has passed on, but before that one passed on, she said that one would call her up and just tell her that, you know, be talking to the husband and be telling him that, look, You have everything with me. You have children. You have satisfaction. I'm not a leech. I'm working. I contribute. What are you doing with this woman? I asked her, are you legally married? And yes, they actually married in the church. And so not only did she come to reaffirm that, look, tell the young people out there that what Reverend is saying is not child's play. Tell them, and hopefully those who will listen. I am living proof. And then there's the question about whether or not she should continue to stay with this man. The children don't stay with her, but the man goes out, comes back at will. When she has money, she cooks, and he comes home and eats. And let's just say she's not a happy person at all. She's not. And my prayer for her, I know she's listening, and so this is just a personal message that she will continue to find her joy in the Lord so that this does not affect her health. But she's not a happy person because, of course, she's not really married to that man of her dreams. And she said that something else that she mentioned that we didn't touch on, she said physical attributes. Making sure that when you're about to choose a life partner, you don't make that a priority as much. She said because her husband is tall, he's dark, he's handsome. She said if I see him, that even I would admire him. But she said it's like an empty shell. She said that's all he is. That now that she's in it, she sees him for what it is. It's an empty shell. He's handsome, he's tall, he's all you might want in a man. But even now for Congress, she's afraid. She uses rubbers, French letters, condoms, because she doesn't know what he's going to bring home. Okay, so this is what her reality is. And the question is, she's trying to set some money aside so that one day the man will come back and she'll be gone. Okay, she said she married. In fact, I'll have to see you, Mr. Ogbaki, separately for this. They were married in the Catholic Church, but presently attends Living Faith. And she's saying that she has told the man before that let's go and have this annulled since I have been unable to give you a child. And you've had children, 5. That's not a small number. Let me go too and see what God has for me somewhere else. And so so that I don't overtalk, what are your thoughts about this woman's situation? She wants to leave this man with good planning. She wants to leave this man. What are your thoughts about this? Any one of you can go first at this point on this matter so that we can quickly open up the phone lines for our single people to call in. Pastor Dodo, Reverend Adejo, Mr. Ogbaki, any one of you can go first, please. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay.
Reverend.
If leaving the marriage is not actually an option, that she has not gotten a child, shouldn't be the end of the marriage. After all, there are some children already in the home that she is already taking care of. So if they have been consuming this marriage and because of suffering and all that, she wants to leave, that is not the best option. Even now, as people are listening to us, people like this, we can help them. We can, if you have any point of employment, you can give them. Again, I need to know, those children outside by that man, are they really his children? Sometimes when girls want to surrender children to you because they want to own you, they tell you you are the owner. Did he conduct any medical check to know that those children are for the man? Because have they gone for any medical test to know whether she cannot keep a child in her womb and nurture it? Has she been getting fertilize her egg? So these are some of the questions that will require an answer. But leaving the house is not the best option for now. I don't know how old is the marriage. Anyway, you said 19.
20 years.
20. I mean, 20 years and you want to leave the marriage. No.
Is it too late to find happiness though, Reverend?
She can even find happiness while she is there. It may not be, there could be minus certain things. You know, marriage, I have often said that it's for 5 reasons. Number 1 is for companionship, and the man is not always around. I don't know. Now, the second one is to help one another. I don't know whether they talk together. Number 3 is to love one another. I don't know how their conversation is. And then number 4, procreation. That one is not happening. And pleasure, which is the 5th one. Yeah. As truth as all may sound, the Bible says you are not to divorce unless on the basis of adultery and fornication. If he has found the man to be involved in those things, and when he comes home, he's not giving her attention, of course, it's a good ground for her to do what she wants to do, to leave.
So, Reverend, you just said some things that are kind of contradictory to me. The Bible allows for you to divorce if the man has been adulterous or the woman has been adulterous.
Yeah.
We have an adulterous situation here where the man has gone against the vow that he made because they really got married in the church. That's 1. 2, there's no happiness. Reverend, what kind of happiness do you think would derive from a home where you know that, I mean, women call your husband, you hear them talking about you derogatorily, you see the fact that your husband is not even protecting you from those kind of situations. He has not said, look, whether or not my wife has children for me, she is still my wife and you must give her that kind of respect. He leaves her at the drop of a hat without really telling her where he's going, and he comes back because he is someone who works as a like once again I said military
he goes
or
on duty.
So
and
yes, there's that excuse.
Sometimes he stays too long on duty.
Right.
Especially, I'm conversant with some of these paramilitary operations. Sometimes they are short of staff, and then one person will be there for 12 hours, and that is bad enough. Now, to conclude on my presentation, you know, we are not here to just tell anyone that has problem in a home, come on, divorce and go. No. To be candid, if I tell you my first year in marriage, the first year, I would have lost great deal of enjoyment in marriage. But after that first year, because of divine intervention and counseling that I received, you see, we were able to amend things.
This isn't a young marriage, Reverend.
Yeah, I tell you the truth. Many men don't know what marriage is all about. Many men. And that is why if they have counselor to counsel the man in particular, I know I always talk to man. When a man gets it right in a home, I tell you, everything will go right. Because
when I talked to her about counseling for you people to step in, she said he doesn't even go to church anymore. Okay. I mean, why, you know, he wouldn't even approach the topic of saying, look, I took our marriage matter to some people and they want to speak to us. Even though she said he's never been violent, but his words have hurt. So,
yeah. To be candid, let these people meet with us, so that we don't just.
The question is, how does she even tell him that I took this matter? You know, there's something that Mr. Ogbaki keeps saying. He said, "Man outside God is a monster."
Yeah.
And so the question is, how does she even begin to tell this man? She did this in secret, How does she begin to tell this man that I went and reported, because that's the word he's going to say, I went and reported our marriage matter to people who he doesn't even know. And this is a man who doesn't have a pastor.
Okay, let her get me the number of the man. I have every authority by the grace of God. I am licensed to do what I'm doing, and I will get in touch with the man and I will talk to him man to man. And from there, I can draw my conclusion.
I will be calling out the Reverend's number and all our resource persons this evening, so that I know she's listening, so that you can call the Reverend. If you feel that this will work, then you should call the Reverend indeed, so that you all can talk about this. All right. So I'm just going to quickly move on to another message that we got last week. Okay. To Mr. Oweye, I'm not sure. I think this message just came in now, and I'm just seeing it. The program is back to 7 p.m. It was at 9 p.m. before, but we had to come back to 7 p.m. So we are back at 7 p.m. now. You don't need to go to 9 p.m. to listen to us anymore. Okay? All right. So we have another matter here. I did promise this lady that I would talk about this here, and then she would hear what you have to say. She said, my marriage is 3 years, 4 months old, and my third child is already 6 months old. I feel my husband is driving me to a halt. I had 500,000 naira for business. He collected it all, and he asked me to sit at home. Is this what marriage is all about? Please help me. Okay, so they have 3 children, the last of which is 6 months old now. She said she had 500,000 that she wanted to use for business, and the man collected everything and told her to sit at home. Yeah, so Mr. Ogbaki, you might want to say something about this.
Okay, so good evening to our listeners. This is quite really unfortunate and happening in the 21st century. Sounds like, and sounds quite strange that even in this age and time, a man will collect a whole sum of 500,000 naira from the wife and say, sit at home. And this is the emphasis we have made here
on several occasions
about the fact that the man is at the center of this whole thing about marriage. It's the man. The mandate is on the man. And the woman is supposed to be a helper. And this is the helper coming with 500,000 naira. You don't even have, probably he does have more than that even. And then you collected the whole of this 500,000 naira and you tell her to sit at home. Well, I think I just want to imagine that she's going through a whole lot right now. A whole lot right now. And you truly speaking, if you are listening, will need some form of counseling. You first, and then eventually with your husband. Because if things get out of hand, she may just lose it. Yeah. So for me, that's just what I want to say, that she needs immediate counseling.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then having 3 children.
Yeah.
3 children in 3 years, that's too much, even for her health.
And the last one is 6 months old.
Yes. So how is she coping with these 3 children? I don't think it's healthy. We have ways of doing family planning. She should go for it, please, even for her own health. If she goes, if the husband, we've spoken about family planning here before, if they don't want to go on that, at least they should do the natural family planning. Because the way she's going, very soon, she'll become a very sick person. Because she's not happy, and then she spent the whole of her days taking care of 3 little children, doing nothing but staying at home. She doesn't even go out, So I think she needs counseling. She seriously needs counseling.
Yeah. Okay, so here is hoping that she's listening, because I actually sent her a message back telling her that we'll talk about this today. And that she would hear what you have to say. Yes, indeed, her marriage is 3 years, 4 months old. And she has 3 children, the last of which is 6 months old. I'm reading that again. So,
Yeah.
yes.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
I'm telling you, when my voice changes like this, I don't feel happy. This is the area I think I have little knowledge. When there is short pregnancy intervals, there are a lot of things that happen. Now, after your first baby, if you don't give gap minimum of 2 years, what will happen if you get another baby again? There will be what we call infant low birth weight, which will affect the baby, the one that is already down. Then number 2, as time goes on, she will be experiencing what we call preterm birth, which in ordinary language we call miscarriage. Then the third thing is there will be anemia. Anemia will set in. That is, she will lose nutrient, she will lose vigor, and she will lose red blood cell. Now, number 4, there is something we called calcium depletion. Calcium depletion, that is, the bone will become brittle instead of being ductile. And when this happens to a woman and it continues in the process, you see, when a woman is pregnant, the tendency to fall down on your face is there when you are walking. That's why we prevent women from wearing high heel. And if you continue in that type of thing consistently for 3 years, when you begin to grow old, you will have problem at your back, and it could be terrible. Now, that is on medical side, and the solution is now. Go wherever. If you are hearing me now, go now and do family planning. That is how strong that is.
That would have to be with the permission of her husband, the
That's
husband
right.
who collected 500,000. And so, even though it might seem like the natural thing to do, it is not something that she can do without him talking about it. Many times, I have found that women who have children with this kind of spacing, it is with the tacit agreement of the spouse.
Jacqueline, it's one of the causes of maternal mortality.
It is.
So we must face it headlong in order to defeat it. Yeah.
Okay. Any one of you have something else to say to this woman?
I think this woman should come. She needs counseling.
Okay.
Because there are some things that we will discuss that I don't think we should discuss it on air. She should just come. Because this woman is actually getting depressed because she's not working, and then she has 3 children, and then she's not happy because her husband has collected all that she has.
I didn't even
So we're
talk about
talking
the money.
about that the children are probably 2 years, okay, maybe 3 years.
3 years.
It's not up to 3 years.
It's not up to 3 years.
Because when she got married,
3 years, 4 months.
9 months is for pregnancy.
Yes.
All right. So remove 9
9
months
times
from
3.
pregnancy.
9 times 3. And remove it from the years of 3
that
years,
they
4
got
months.
married.
So except she got pregnant before they got married, those
Okay.
children are probably going to be maybe 2, 1.5, and then 6 months.
She's likely to get pregnant again.
And she's likely to get pregnant again. But here we are. The question, last week we had a very, very heated talk here in the studio with our listeners. People were sending in messages talking about Reverend being harsh on men.
On men.
And I'm wondering,
And
a
I'm a
man
man.
who has money of his own, a man who is earning well, or a man who has a good plan, financial plan for himself and for his family, would you collect your wife's money and tell her to sit at home?
It's possible.
Because he just doesn't want her to
He
work.
doesn't want her to work. He wants her to depend. There are different kinds of men.
You see,
Well, so
you
I
see-
hope that single people are listening. These are the kind of
possible.
conversations that you should have with your spouse to be.
Yeah.
Are you going to allow me work, or are you a man who prefers for your wife to actually stay at home? Or even there are girls who don't believe in working.
Yeah.
So you should, as a man, have this conversation. Do you think, are you the type who would want to just sit at home and let me take care of you? Or are you going to be a helpmate? Are you going to really go out there to help with the home? These are discussions that we cannot shy away from at all. So at this point, I would like to go on a quick commercial break. And when we get back immediately, I will be opening up the phone lines, not for married people, please. I would like to
Hear the
hear
singles.
from the singles, because the whole month of February was actually dedicated for them, and we're about rounding up. So this would be the time for them to ask questions. So before we do that, let's go on this commercial break. When we get back, I'll also read the comments on our Facebook page. Stay with us. You're listening to Invicta 98.9. These are their ideas about it. And let's see. I want to quickly take our messages from Facebook. We have Olawande Matthews from Trinidad, who says, my question would be, how long does a woman or man pray or try to make the marriage or relationship work before leaving becomes an option? Thank you so much, Olawande Matthews. Then we have Medina, who says, bless. Okay, hi to you too, Medina. Thank you for that. So I guess we'll have to address Olawande quickly before we open up the phone line. She says that her question is, how long does a man or woman, or a woman or man, pray or try to make the marriage or relationship work before leaving becomes an option?
Relationship. When you are in a relationship and it's not working, I mean,
Marriage or relationship?
She
okay,
said marriage or
relationship. Let me
relationship.
talk about relationship because it's an easy thing. You are not yet married and you are seeing some things that you know you cannot enjoy in your marriage. I think it's time to take a walk. Because if those things keep on repeating themselves, most likely it's going to occur in your marriage. So like we always say, a broken engagement is better than a broken marriage. Now for marriage is a different thing. You know, I've said it here before that the Bible says what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. And nobody will tell you, just leave your home. They will try to manage situations until it is known that nothing can be done again. And they will allow, okay, if you want a divorce, go ahead and get it. But we still want to make sure that this marriage works. I guess that is why Reverend was saying that he's advising the woman to stay and things might change. For marriage, it's very difficult to just take a walk. But for relationships, it's very easy. All you need to do is tell the person, this thing will not work between the two of us, and nobody is going to fault you.
You know, I keep saying that before I got married and I would watch foreign movies and I would see women at the altar where they're about to take their vow, and then with their wedding gown, they're running. I remember that it was Julia Roberts, I think, that I first saw, that Runaway Bride. I used to ask, are they mad? Why would they do that? Why would you even get to that point before running and all of that? But, you know, in retrospect, they are the ones. I mean, maybe that's when it really dawns on them, you know, what I'm about to do. Because the Christian marriage is a very, very difficult thing to step into, one must say. If one has to go by biblical precepts, the Christian marriage is a very difficult one because it gives you very little room to back out once you're in. Gives you very, very, very little room. All right, so let's open up the phone lines and hear from our singles out there. Once again, time is just flying, and it is time for us to hear from our singles. Please, this is the time for you to ask questions. Today is for you. We've been talking about quite a lot in the month of February. We touched on two major things, and that's money and also sex. And so hopefully you have other questions, or if you want some of those things reiterated or expanded on, then please call in and do ask. And the numbers are 081 40,000 989. Once again, that's 081 40,000 989. And then we have 070 800 989. Once again, that's 070 800 989. You can send text messages to the number 09072703270. Once again, that's 09072703270. Let's go take your calls now. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
You're welcome. You don't need to call your name, just ask your question.
Yes, Mama, I want to ask a question. My question is like this. The man I want to marry, is not working. He's not working, and
You said the man you want to marry is what?
It's not working.
Is not
he's
working.
working.
Okay.
Yes, and he's telling me that no worry that his parents are going to do everything. And I said, okay, when we get married, for me, I'm working. Yeah, I'm working. I'm just managing. I thank God. So he's not working, and he loves painting and creating. I've been begging him to stop. He don't want to stop. When I talk to him, just abuse me and said, if I don't want to marry, let me go. That his parents will do everything for him. He's not working. I talk to his parents.
Oh.
The line got cut off. I wanted to ask if his parents are wealthy. That would have put quite a lot into perspective since he said his parents would do everything. Please remember this lady. Let's take another call. Hello, good evening. We're connected. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, go ahead, please. Just ask your question.
Yes. The question I want to ask is concerning that woman that her husband collected 500,000 from her.
Okay.
I don't know. Is it based on agreement or the husband just collected the money like that?
Okay.
Who did it? Because it has to be based on agreement.
Well,
You understand? So
for trouble.
I cannot collect money from my wife just like that and then now make her to sit at home. It's not done like that as husband and wife.
Okay.
And look at her condition, Kuma.
Okay.
Is not the way I'm saying it is not good at all.
No, it's
So
not.
I don't know whether you could get in touch with her, ask her whether it's based on agreement or what, because we are just talking about
If it was based on agreement, she would
wouldn't
not have
complain.
sent that message. So I think we can just infer that it wasn't based on agreement. But thank you very much for calling in this evening. We're still taking calls from single people. You have a question, please call in and ask. But we have a text message here. Someone says that most men prefer women to depend on them so that they can molest them. They are afraid of competition. Should it be a competition, though? Is marriage a competition? Hello. We're connected. Good evening. There's something wrong with your line.
Hello.
Yes. Okay, this is
Hello,
better.
good evening.
Good evening. Please go ahead. We're connected. Hello. Okay.
Can you get me now? I'm getting you to clear.
Please, are you close to a radio? Move away.
Okay.
Move
How
away.
about now?
It's interfering. Yes. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I just want to
He's
talk
looking at something.
the other lady that
Do you have a question?
no,
Uh-oh.
I
We
want
can,
to
we
can I
can,
continue?
yes, but we are looking for questions from singles, actually.
Okay, me, I'm not single, I'm married.
Oh, okay.
I'm a married man.
Okay.
But I just want to contribute concerning the other lady that was talking about her husband.
Go ahead quickly. We cannot hear you. If you might need to speak louder.
Okay. The issue and that home, the way I'm saying it is, is she born again? That lady that she says
Sir, we cannot hear you. You keep your line keeps
Yeah.
going in and out, so it's not
gone
making
off.
the conversation sweet at all. Please do try us back. Let's take another call. Good evening.
Hello?
Yes, we're connected. Good evening.
Hello, evening, ma'am.
All right, go ahead quickly, please.
Yeah, this is Emmanuel calling from Kigo Road.
All right, your question, please.
Yeah, my question is that, please, now, I'm serious in worry. I'm not yet married, but I'm still trusting God before the end of this year. But my question is that, most ladies, most of our Christian girls, they want church wedding, white wedding. And my question is that, please, I want to tell me the final answer. Is that traditional marriage and church wedding? Which one is the most important one?
Okay. All right. That's a great question. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Which one is more important? Do not forget the lady whose husband to be isn't working. But so I hope you're actually jotting it down somewhere. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes.
Okay, so over the weekend I had my son's wedding was supposed to come up.
Your stepfather?
So, but my sister's wedding.
Okay.
So, but events preceding the wedding, the husband happened to be around. The husband to be was there, but then on Thursday, he didn't show up for the event on Thursday. Then on Friday, he didn't show up for wedding, and then his people were not there. So basically, before the whole wedding came up, there were issues that were surrounding the husband, where there were contemplations about whether he should be given or not. And then my sister was insisting on the fact that she wants him as her husband. But there were signs that he might just back out because it was just not
So he
working.
backed out.
But then she was
Just so
He
that
didn't
we're
show
quick
up.
about this, he didn't show up. Did
Yes,
the
he
wedding
did.
still hold?
No, he didn't. Actually, he didn't.
So
So
the
what's
wedding
the
didn't
question?
hold.
It didn't hold, and then now my sister, she's not even what I say, she's just not herself right now. From Friday to today, just there like numb, nothing, not saying anything, and nothing is happening really.
Well, I think I can just tell you for free that your sister dodged a bullet. She really
God
did.
just helped her.
She
He didn't know.
dodged a bullet. You know what I mean by she dodged a bullet? Like a live bullet was coming.
It's three bullets, in fact.
Yeah, and she dodged it. She should be grateful for life.
That's it.
We're actually glad. We're glad it didn't hold because we saw it coming, but I think it would just serve as a pointer for people who would not take advice, just want it to happen like that.
Yeah.
If your sister would like to talk to our resource persons, I'll call out their numbers after this. She might need somebody to, someone outside the family to help her
Get out of that
rationalize this
situation.
properly. All right. So thank you very much.
I'll take it down and then I'll relate to her then.
All right. Thank you very much for calling in and sharing with us. Let me quickly come back before we forget, the calls that we've had. The lady who wants to get married and, the man drinks, he smokes, and every time she's asked him to stop, there's been issue.
He sold
And then,
her.
what is the last word? Which is more important in a Christian marriage, the traditional wedding or the church marriage? If we're fast with our submissions, we'll be able to take calls because the lines are buzzing.
Yeah. Maybe I talk fast on
Yes.
which tradition. I mean, which is the best. If we want to talk about the best, marriage itself is God's institution. So you start with God, and then tradition are the arrangement of men. So we can't just say tradition is the best or church wedding is the best, but the best place to go is to wed in the church. But then, before you can even come to wed in the church will ask you, have you settled it with your parents? That is the traditional aspect of it. Actually, it must begin from there. It's a procedure that must be followed. So none is to be thrown out. So you don't do traditional and leave God out. So that is for that. And then the second one of the woman that is not yet married and the husband is, the person to be is already insulting her, and the lifestyle is not a good one. I think the scripture says, make no friendship with an angry man, and with a cruel man thou shalt not go. I think it is the beginning already. It has started showing sign. So that one, forget about the man. Which one again?
All right, so that's about it, basically,
Yep.
apart from the lady who needs some talking to.
Yep.
Any one of you have something to add so that we can quickly go back to taking calls? Hello, good evening. Good evening, we're connected. Hello? All right, unfortunately, that call got dropped. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, evening, ma'am.
Yes, please, quickly, your question.
Yeah, Emmanuel calling back.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, in fact, ma, your girl did not answer my question. He tried, but there is but on it.
Okay, the traditional and white wedding question.
Yes, ma. Yes,
Okay,
ma.
okay.
You see, as a preacher of God, in fact, the most important one in life is the one that God has assigned, which is the traditional marriage.
Who told you?
And you see today that many girls today, they are tied down. Say, I must put on that white garment. Hey, today, people have disrespect that white garment. Before, that white garment is made for saints. Once you are a virgin. But today, people have pregnant and they put on white garment, say they must put on that white garment. So I'm telling the fact.
Okay.
The other one is
Emmanuel,
what God has signed.
It's spreading wrong information to the public.
No, Reverend, I don't think we should say it's wrong. There are actually people who get married pregnant. And so he has a point. The fact that this tradition started, it's not an African tradition, actually, started, with trying to portray the virginity of a woman. And then for a girl who is not a virgin to be insisting that she must wear her white wedding gown, I think you should actually speak to this. Because for me, I don't know, I stand to be corrected before the three of you. You don't have to wear, the blessing from the church has nothing to do with the white wedding gown. I've seen people who were unable, went to the church, but were unable to do, all these gra that we do for white wedding until 16 years later. And 16 years, boy, was it grand. They had it in the UK. It was a horse-drawn carriage that carried the woman to the church and all of that. It was the full works. The man gave her that because he said when he was about to marry her, he didn't really have the money to go for, that kind of whatever. But it doesn't mean that he didn't do the church thing. So I think you might need to differentiate between, he's talking about the ceremony.
Yeah, marriage is not ceremony. It is two people coming together. Now, the person who is in charge is the person that says, what I have joined together, let no man put asunder. He is the one who says, I am a witness in your home. And that is God. All these things I'm saying is God. So, you fix on God, the cloth you wear is just ceremonial. You can wear your traditional clothes and go to church and they bless the marriage for you.
In fact, funny enough, in the US of A, there are quite a number of black Americans now who are going for ashoke. Like they go for white and gold ashoke. It looks fantastic, looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that you can wear to church, whatever you can give them. Yeah, Mr. Obaki, please.
Because again, who says that the man who puts on the suit shouldn't be a virgin also? Because he said that the woman should wear a white, the wedding gown, white wedding gown, signifying she's a virgin. The man should also be a virgin.
Okay.
I mean, we're
But he's wearing black.
Yeah, he wears a black and white shirt or whichever color. It should be a virgin if he's going to the altar, right? The point is just, we are dealing with the externals here. This is not the most important
thing.
In fact, in philosophical categories, we say these are accidentals. These are not the substantial or the essential issues. the most important thing is the persons who are getting married, the witness, and then the man of God. 4 persons, 5 persons. That's all. So you can do it right inside your bedroom. You can do it in your parlor. You can do it in your church, because God is everywhere. When you bring God into the matter, that's the most important thing.
Period.
The tradition. So the idea is that, like Reverend said, and I completely concur, that this thing is a process.
It's a process.
From tradition to the church.
That's all.
You can't move from nursery school to JSS1. You have to go through nursery, primary, secondary, and like that. So it's a process.
It's
and
a combination of both. Actually.
Exactly. So
the
one is
and the
exactly,
Christian
because
wedding.
even in the traditional marriage, they ask the couples to kneel down and they say all kinds of prayers
Pray
for
for
them and
them.
all of that. The mother, the father gives their blessings and all of that. So I think it is a process, and if some men are running away from it because they say they are going to eat food and all of that, don't spend money on the food. Just go quietly to the pastor or to the priest and say, do it.
But the woman will not agree.
Yeah, but it takes two. It takes two. You have to agree. Both of you have to agree on what you want.
If you cannot agree at this time, then you
Exactly.
shouldn't be
Then-
getting married.
Yeah.
Then you shouldn't be getting married. Okay, so someone is sending me a text message here that I should have opened up the phone lines before now, because there are many of them who want to ask questions and they are unable to. All right, we
just
will
take their questions
next week, next Sunday.
We'll devote
or
it
you
to
can-
questions.
Yes, questions completely from the beginning to the end, especially from single people. And then we have another text message. This person says, what are the implications attached to distant relationships? And I will be 34 by November. I really wish to settle down very soon, but I have financial limitations due to my work. It is not moving fine at the moment as expected. What can I do to achieve this, considering the fact that I don't womanize and I feel lonely most times as a man? All right. So please, for all who are trying to call, we've run out of time. We will open up the phone lines, God willing, next week. The preamble from me will just be good evening, and we'll open up the phone line. So please get your questions ready, or you can send a text message to me. I'll be calling out those numbers shortly. But a 34-year-old man, very lonely, and his work isn't moving great. How can he achieve?
I will say quickly that it is
Yes.
not how soon. It is not how soon, for especially for young men and then women who are 30, 32, 35, 38, 40, 45. It is not how soon. Look, God's plans are there. Many are the plans in a man's heart, but the Lord's purpose endures forever. That's what Proverbs tells us. We must walk our way into God's plans or God's purpose. We must walk our plans into God's purpose for us. We have said here, Reverend has insisted, and we have agreed that you need money in the 21st century to be married.
That's right.
Look,
to be
if
happy.
your wife, by mistake, born triplets, only
You run the river around.
only diaper, bros. So, I mean, we're not talking about baby milk. We're not talking about the lady we saw who gave birth to 6 triplets. The guy said he bought 120 something piece of diaper. The following day, the mother said, finished. The following day. I mean, we know how, if you don't have money, just try.
Be innovative.
The idea is here, be innovative, be creative
Yes.
about what to do. Nobody has said that you have, I mean, when you come.
You could start a small business right in your house where you live. You go to work, you come back to another business, or learn another skill. You need skills. For all of us, there's a particular skill that you know will raise your income. Go learn that skill. Keep a paid job and all of that, but develop or come up with innovative ways of making money. But if you become depressed because of this, you may rush into marriage, and then the disaster ahead will be worse than what you will have
been.
Let him get involved in church activities.
Right.
If he's feeling lonely. That's it.
As a matter of fact, there's somewhere else in the Bible, I think it's in Proverbs too, please, if you know where it is, let's know, where it said it's better for you to be on the roof of your house with dried bread or something, or in your house
Then
with a contentious
woman.
with a contentious woman. Living with a woman who doesn't respect you or love you because you are unable to provide for her is not funny at all. And so, my brother, living and working in Nigeria is not the easiest of things. And honestly, my heart goes out to all the men, especially. out there, men especially, who want to do right by their families. It is not easy at all. But God sees you. He sees your struggles, and he will bless you. He will. Just take it to him in prayer, and he will. Please allow me to quickly call out their numbers. We've run out of time. For Pastor Dodo, you can reach out on 081-8614-2295. For Pastor Dodo, you can reach out on 081-8614-2295. For Reverend Adejo, you can reach him on 080-3405-7915. I'll call Reverend Adejo's number again. It is 080-3405-7915. For Mr. Emmanuel Ogbaki, you can reach him on 080-6861-6731. For Mr. Emmanuel Ogbaki, reach him on 080-6861-6731. You can send your text messages to 090-7270-3270. That comes to me. You can send your text messages to 090-7270-3270. Next week, it's a promise. Our singles who were unable to reach out today, please bear with us. You will get your chance, God willing, next week. For our
Jacqueline,
married, yes,
Proverbs 25:24.
25-24. Read it quickly.
It's better to live on a corner of the roof than to share a house with a contentious woman.
Indeed. Proverbs 25-24. I won't forget that in a hurry. For married couples who have been listening to us, I pray that the God of Israel touches each and every home as we all struggle to make our homes better. Until next week, remain victorious.
Amen.